Welcome to Putney Breeze Aid of Navigation. My name is Chris Caddo and I'll be presenting this short video to give you the 10 key questions that you need to ask yourself to start on your journey to enhance your business performance, understand your business model, and to reach your business destination. Now, talking about business destination, what is it? And why do we actually go into business in the first place? Some of us go into business because we want to be successfully self-employed, and that's a great place to begin. But wouldn't it be a sad day if 10, 15, perhaps 20 years down the track, and you've been successfully self-employed for that time, and you've been making a good income for yourself over that period, and you wanted to retire, or at least take a break from what you've been working at over the years? Would it be a sad day if you could not actually sell it? And you're in a position where it was all about yourself and you literally could not pass on that living asset. So how do we create that living asset to make sure we don't get into that situation where we haven't cashed out with our business and our capital that we could have grown over that period? Now, to create a living asset, you literally need to create a business that provides you with perpetual income. And when I say perpetual income, what I mean is that you have created some core customers, a critical mass of people who keep coming back for your services or your product and will happily refer your business without hesitation. And they come back year on year, or period on period, or season after season, or cycle after cycle, and they give you that living asset which you pass on to somebody else because you have created that business with that ongoing income base. So let's create that living asset. Let's create perpetual income. Let's start with our business model and the questions that we need to ask ourselves. So where we want to be is one day, perhaps, holidaying whenever we like, in whichever destination we'd like, for as long as we like. And to get there, the first 10 questions that you need to ask yourself is, what is it that I'm well known for or want to be well known for? In effect, what is your underlying market niche? Second question you ask yourself is this market big enough to generate organic demand over time? And that is that we're not being too small in our niche. And we've picked an area, a product or service or a market which is big enough over time to generate organic demand. That's very important. Third is, what products or services will generate my perpetual income in this market? So what is the specific product or service that people will keep coming back for time after time, or stay with you for a certain period, or come back after every season? Then, to get more specific, what's my demographic target? And what's my geographic target? So how the last two questions shape your product and market services. It helps you focus your resources, focus where you actually want to spend your assets, if you like, or your assets being your cash assets, on your marketing and your selling efforts, and also on your product development efforts. How you use your working capital, for want of a better term. Which assets you buy. Where do you focus on in terms of innovation and product development? So you need to understand these 5 questions and be clear in your mind about what you're trying to achieve, because that's what's going to bring you the bacon in the end, or perhaps not bacon, but the bags of cash that you'd like to have so you can take your business forward. Now, here we have Michael, and Michael is a good businessman, but sometimes he lays awake in the middle of the night. And what he's doing when he's laying awake in the middle of the night is thinking to himself, and he's got a few questions in his head. How do I solve these problems? I'm getting really busy. I want to put on a new staff member. I'm not sure if I can afford to pay for it, or if I should at all. When is this staff member going to pay for themselves? So he's agonizing over that because he knows there's going to be commitment, an extra outlay, but he's not sure when that outlay is going to provide a return. Perhaps Michael's great at selling his products, but he's not sure which products actually make him more money because of the state of his accounts and his reporting. He's not confident in his numbers. Perhaps Michael's got a great business plan, but he's just struggling to implement it. He's not sure where to focus his time and effort. He's finding himself firefighting. A lot of issues to resolve day on day, not sure how to focus on the big picture. I've been at the same level for a few years. I'm not making as much money as I did a couple of years back, and I don't know why. So in that circumstance, perhaps we haven't challenged the way we've done things for a little while. And I'm really busy. I've got no free time, and I'm not really making as much money as I hope. So sometimes Michael lays awake at night thinking these things to himself. But lastly, he thinks, geez, I want to be able to sell my business one day, and I'm really not sure if I can. And look, and the reason why Michael's struggling with this is because he literally doesn't, he's not clear to him what his business model is. It's not clear to him where to focus his efforts. It's not clear to him what he's trying to dominate. He knows that he's got some client base, but he's not sure how loyal they are. And he's not really sure, apart from perhaps his friendship, he's not really sure, or recent customer satisfaction, not really sure why they're coming back. But here we have Jennifer, and Jennifer's really, really happy with herself. And she's quite comfortable. She doesn't lay awake at night. Why? Because she understands the business destination. She understands her objectives that she needs to achieve to reach her destination. And she's got clear operational activities that clearly cascade from her objectives. So she's happy how she can also measure her success. So this is where you want to be. You want to be just like Jennifer, and perhaps less like Michael. So what does Jennifer have? Jennifer has what I call, or what we call, an aid of navigation. She understands her destination clearly, and therefore she understands destination. She understands the business model. And from that business model, she clearly knows what her revenue drivers are. She clearly knows what her cost drivers are. She understands her products, her customer life cycles, and her product life cycles, and she puts it together in a way where she understands the volume she requires to break even and to deliver the appropriate level of return for all the effort that she puts into a business, for all the worries that she has. So because she's got the business model, she's got a defined focus, she understands her business trends because of the information coming out of her system, and she can forecast her goals. And as she reaches her goals, she creates that business wealth. So with Putney Breeze, we've got a fundamental framework which we help business owners through. And I'll take you through the framework just briefly, but first and foremost is the pre-season. And pre-season is what we call the time where you think about what you're actually trying to achieve. Some people call it business planning, but we'd like to think of it as pre-season. Why? Because you're preparing yourself to carry off your plans. There's no point having a great plan if you can't actually carry it off. And you can only carry it off if you're prepared. So how are we going to prepare ourselves to carry off our plan? Do we know what our business destination is? And do we know the direction and the actions that cascade from that? And once we do, we identify clearly what we're going to do in our business attack, which is our sales and marketing. We have a look and refine our midfield, which is our operational processes and our workflows and our time multiplication, or improving how we use time in the business. And then we also make sure that we understand exactly where our cash flow is, and that we are not going to get any, it's going to be minimize our risk in terms of any curveballs that may come across. And if they do come across us, or we come across them, we actually are in a position to deal with it. So we minimize that risk. But as your business grows, what's critical is that you have a great culture. Why? Because you need to cascade your values to your business, and you need to have some team rules and motivate your staff. And as the bigger you grow, the more important culture becomes. And also, you need to navigate your business. You need to understand where you're going, how you're getting there, where you're at, so you can make the appropriate decisions. So that's in a nutshell the Premiership business model, which Putney Breeze uses to help our clients. Now, just drilling down into pre-season, and this is where Jennifer's so happy, because she has her business model, and from her business model, she can understand what her sales and marketing penetration is through her objectives, understand what activities she has to achieve those objectives. She measures those appropriately, and from those measurements, she takes the appropriate actions to create value in her business. Now, the same process is followed in her operational effectiveness, and the same process is followed in her staff efficiencies. And if you get those three things right, you're well on the way to delivering customer value and to build that living asset so that you can sail into the sunset in the end. Now, Why are KPIs so important? Or why are business models and business measures so important? Why? Because they actually help you understand where you are in relation to your goals. The actions that flow from those measures will help you reach that ultimate destination. Why? Because your direction may change from time to time, but ultimately that destination, that business direction, or that destination that you're actually trying to achieve, that long-term goal that you're trying to achieve, it's still going to be the same. It's just from time to time you'll be heading in slightly different destinations. Sorry, slightly different directions, I should say. And we need to understand where to turn that business, that business enterprise, what we should do here, what tactics should we take, what direction should we take to make sure we reach our ultimate destination. And reinforcing that your ultimate destination has not changed, but you're using your KPIs to determine what actions that follow to reach that destination. And if you don't know where you are at, you don't know where you're going to turn. So your business model, which gives you your business measures, helps you understand where you're going to go. Now, another analogy I like to use is with pilots, let's say. And in recent times, unfortunately, there's been a couple of commercial plane crashes or accidents where the pilots, as well trained as they are, as intelligent as they are, to be able to fly these commercial planes, sometimes when things aren't going well, they are bombarded with information. So what I'm trying to say here is that there have been two recent circumstances where over the Atlantic, an Airbus stalled and fell out of the sky, or an Airbus aircraft stalled and fell out of the sky due to pilot error. And also, not so long ago, in Buffalo, in the US, the pilots stalled the plane and it fell out of the sky. But why did they stall the plane? They were given so much information about what was happening in the plane. They had the stick shaker, they had the hooters hooting, they had the warning bells ringing. But what happened with those pilots? What happened was they forgot their fundamental model of how the plane flies. And they actually stalled the aircraft. They were distracted by all the information that was coming in, forgot the model of how the plane flies, and stalled the aircraft and the plane crashed. So with yourself, when you're actually running your business, sometimes when things aren't going as well as they should be, you get a lot of information and you start digging into the information in your business. But if you forget what your business model is, your underlying business model that gave you your business the flight in the first place, took that business off the ground in the first place, if you forget what that was, you get distracted by all the information that you're coming in. You're getting too granular. You may actually stall your business. So this is where going back to the basics help, or going back to your underlying business model. For those pilots, all they actually need to do in that circumstance is to remember how the plane actually flies, and to keep the breeze or the wind over their wings to keep the plane up in the air. But unfortunately, they were distracted by that abundance of information, and they forgot the fundamental model. So, if we want to get to the destination, we've asked ourselves the five questions to begin with. But in the next 5 questions is more specific about what is my business destination? What is my business model? What are the objectives and activities that cascade from my business model? What am I measuring to understand if I'm heading in the right direction? Because ultimately what we all want is just to be confident in our decision making. We want to be confident in our decision making because it's clear to us how we're trying to reach our goals, how we're going to achieve those goals, the mechanics behind it. So, be on the lookout. If you'd like to learn more, be on the lookout for webinars and seminars that Putney Breeze runs from time to time. Yeah, they'll all be on our website. We do run the Premiership Business one-day intensive, which helps you plan your actions for the year ahead. So have a look if there's an appropriate one-day intensive planned or scheduled in the future. Have a look on our website. And alternatively, if you require business modelling, if you require a business performance improvement action plan, then don't hesitate to email us. So you can discuss with us our models and or how we can help you build your models and help you create that living asset. So thanks for listening in, and we look forward to speaking to you in the future. Bye for now.